Oh, Peter. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. I didn't
see you there.
We're repeating that bit because obviously it is Dune month on the channel, and it's such a funny bit. Why not repeat it? But I don't know if you could tell. I have a different version of Dune. That's right, it's taken me 3 years now to read 2/3 of this book. It is just, it's so hard to get through. If you ever put down books like these, you know, science fiction books, where they have all those names like Glob Snobber and Bling Blapper, it's so hard to pick back up. But this isn't a book review channel. This is a trick-taking channel. So the game we're covering today is Collusion. It's by David Parlett. Again, since it's Dune, it's standard deck June, where we're covering games that are only standard decks, so you can play this at home. All you need is 3 other friends and a 52 card deck. So the hook to Collusion is, you're trying to get the same number of tricks, as just one other person at the table. And the actual craziness hook of the game is you can say whatever you want. You just can't say specifically what's in your hand, but you can say, hey, could you only lead diamonds? Or like, hey, you have 2 tricks, I have 2 tricks, don't win any more tricks, I want to partner with you. Or at the start of your hand, you're like, I think I'm going to get 3 tricks, anyone else want to get 3 tricks with me? You can say whatever you want. It's crazy. Let's go to the table and I'll show you how to play. The deck in Collusion is just a standard deck, and it's dealt out equally to the 4 players, so 13 to each player. And the lead is just the player to the left. Let's say it's Zuko. So again, Collusion is a game where you can just say whatever you want. So maybe since Zuko has the lead here, they're looking at their hand, and since aces are high, no, they're going to maybe take some tricks here, and they could say, I think I'm going to take 3 tricks. And, you know, anyone could be like, yeah, I'll join you. So Azula might be like, yeah, I'll take 3 tricks. Again, nothing is binding. You can say whatever you want. You could do whatever you want, essentially, besides saying the cards in your hand. Like Zuko can't say, I have 2 aces, or I have the ace of spades, or whatever, right? So maybe they say, I think I'm going to take 3 tricks, and then they just lead to the trick. So it's a must-follow game, and there's no trump. So the highest card of the lead suit will win. And then Azula, just plays the 3, and then Ty Lee over here plays the 2. So Zuko would win the trick, because ace is high. They would lead again, and again, players can say whatever they want as they play, they just can't say what's in their hand. So Azula might be like, hey, could you lead clubs because I have a high club or something, right? There's a little gray area in the communication, but again, the only strict rule on communication is you can't reveal your cards or say what you are holding, but everything else is on the table. So play like this just continues until all the tricks are done, and let's jump forward a little bit. Jumping to the end of the scoring here, as you can see, Zuko took 2, May took 3, Azula took 3, and then Ty Lee took 5. So first off, you get a point per trick that you won, so 5, 3, 3, and 2. And then you see if there's any bonuses to be had. So of course, the main goal of the game is to match up with exactly 1 player. So if that does happen, those 2 players get 10 points bonus each. If there's a case where no one matches, like in this case where Ty Lee took a ton of tricks and then 1, 3, and 2 were had, then the player with the fewest will score the bonus instead, and they'll get 20 points. And finally, if 3 players get the same number of tricks, like 2, 2, 2, then the odd person out, Ty Lee over here, will actually get the bonus of 30 points. Then you would shuffle up and deal again with the player to the left of the dealer, again being the start player, and we just kind of have it move around in circles here. There are some caveats, so the goal is to 100. You're trying to get to 100 points, but you can only win if when you cross 100, you do so with a bonus. So I hopefully can give a better example, because that might be a little bit confusing. So say in this case that Azula had 99 points, they would have gotten 2 points for the tricks, but since they didn't get a bonus when they hit or went over 100, they don't count. You have to go over 100 with a bonus. So if that happens where you go over 100 with just trick points, then it actually counts as a minus. So Azula would go from 99 to 97. So kind of a funny caveat here. But if Ty Lee was also at 99, they got the bonus, right, of 30 points. They would have busted over 100 with a bonus, so they would have won. And that's how to play Collusion. Oh, hey, I didn't say that. So welcome to Taylor's Review Corner, where the wall meets the other wall. Look at those shadows, too. Anyway, Collusion. Wacky game. Wacky good game. I really, really like it. We covered David Parlett's 99 in the past. Another standard deck game. That one's for 3 only. This one's for 4 only. And I think Parlett's great. This is the second Parlett I've played. He has a bunch, so I really want to check more of them out. I think the system is amazing. It's so fun to see really unique, I've said wacky before, but definitely wacky systems with a standard deck of cards. It's funny to see standard deck mixed with new ideas. It's like, I just hit that. It's like fresh and classic, right? Coming together. I've always loved games that let the group shine through. And what makes the group unique, or what makes the players across from you at the table interesting, come through the game. So games like Voodoo Prince, right? Where if you're playing with people who are pretty risky, you can see that in the gameplay. I love that Collusion, like half of the gameplay is the players. It's what they want, it's how they bluff or how they talk. The interesting thing is I'll play this with someone who maybe is a little distrustful of the other players, and they'll be like a little deceitful, which is interesting. Or sometimes I'll play it with players who are always trying to cooperate, and it becomes like this kind of bizarro co-op game where players are always, shifting into each other's partnerships and out of each other's partnerships. I watched some of the Dice Tower where Tom Vassell, he comments how it's tough to have a competitive co-op game like Dead of Winter or something, right? Where players are working towards something but not working towards something. And I think this does it really well. I think there's an inherent agreement with players that you can try, and if anything falls through, it's immediately called off. And the fact that there's that breeziness there, it lends to easy co-op, just as easy as competitive. But so I really like the fluidness that this game brings. I would say the fluidness is also maybe my only detractor of the game. It's kind of like with everything with these communication games where there is just so much looseness on what you can and can't say that it falls a little apart in that aspect. Not too much. I guess, for example, like Codenames or The Mind, there's things where players can kind of get away with a little bit more than maybe the game is allowing. And there's some grayness there. So like, for example, in Collusion, you can't say what's in your hand, can't say what's on your cards, but you can say, just right at the bat, hey, I really hope you lead hearts, and I really hope you don't lead spades, or things of that nature, right? You can essentially tell players what you're strong in, what you're weak in, or like, hey, I could win, I don't even know if you can say that, right? Like I'm not 100% sure if you could say the phrase, I could win hearts if you lead it. Like, can you say that? Or if you keep playing spades, like, I'll never win a trick again. Like, you can tell so much of your hand in like the weird linguistic phrases that you're allowed to say, but you can't say what's in your hand. So there is some grayness there. And I think the group, what's nice is the game already is like, let your group go wild. So it's nice to have just the group decide what can be said and what cannot be not said. But also, I think there is an inherent ness to the fact that trick taking, which is so rigid, must follow, this is the rank, this rank beats that rank, meeting such a fluid rule set, it can have a little bit of like a where are we at type feeling. So again, love the fact that it's new and old, but also that is almost a little bit of the same reason why I'm a little hesitant to fully recommend this. I think you might get maybe a goofy group that would make this game maybe not sing as well as other groups. I really like the scoring. I love that the fact it benefits getting tricks, because those are points, and also sometimes getting a bunch of tricks, because then players will tie, and you'll be the one with a ton of tricks. You'll be, the only one who's unique. And then you can just slough and go for I'm going to try to make other people match up, make too many people match up, and I'll have the fewest. There's a cool thing where like if you get the least is your strategy, you're both ready for when no one matches and for when 3 people matches. But then you're not getting trick points. Really cool balancing. I think the scoring is pretty smart. I thought it was a little goofy, because I think sometimes players do just go for the least a little too much. But, that could just be our group. So, or groups. I play this with different groups, but I feel like sometimes the least strategy was a little bit much, and I saw a little bit too much sloughing. But again, what's great about this game is there's a lot of meta. The meta can just really change a lot. So yeah, I really like it. Anyway, that is Collusion. I'm losing it. It's 5:12 in the morning. you know that's a good time for final thoughts. I think overall, Collusion is spicy. Spicy meatball. Spicy is not spicy as the meatballs, actually. If I had to roll back that metaphor, I would say, comparing it to the other Parlet, 99 is like classic. That's like a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic game. But this one is really good. I think some of the looseness in the game that makes it great is what also makes it a little like, okay. It's good. It's good for a goof and a gaff and a spoof. This one is just really, really, really good. Really like it. Really like this game. Definitely check it out. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.